my local movie theater again in the early morning because I am going to go see Spider-Man Homecoming! And I even got my Spidey shirt on from my Mary Jane photo shoot. I am super excited for this movie because I've been hyped about it, and the media has been getting me hyped about it, and Tom Holland has been getting me hyped about it, and I am just like, I'm ready for this. I am so ready for this. I just want to see, like, where the heck this is going, because, like, ever since they announced it, there's just been so much speculation over the plot. It looks amazing. There's been promotions for Pizza Hut. There's, like, I'm seeing Spider-Man everywhere. I need to see this now, and I need to see this today. So, I'm just so excited, man. Like, I don't even know what to expect. I just know that I feel Tom Holland's gonna be amazing. I'm excited for Zendaya, and it looks funny. It looks great. So, I'm gonna go ahead and now buy my ticket, and I will catch you up after the movie. I just got out of the movie theater, and I'm just trying to process everything. Hold on. It's bright. Okay, so there were honestly a lot of references, and like there was just so much going on, and it was really good. It was really good, and honestly, like, I don't even know like how to process everything right now. I want to say so much stuff, but there was just so much there that I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm just gonna like take the car ride home to process everything that I just watched and like let it filter through just how amazing everything was and how much I love this, and then like I'll compile all of that into some type of coherent thought that I'll summarize and tell you later. So see you at the house. Hey guys, so I'm back from the movie theater, and the drive back didn't really help. Like, I was just thinking about this the entire time, and I was thinking about what to say, but then I was realizing very quickly that I liked it so much, there were so many references, I just had way too much to say and I couldn't really think of anything. So I'm gonna save all my thoughts until the end, because I'm gonna go ahead and try to summarize the movie right now, but, you know, again, full warning, I'm not great at summarizing things, so this might not be too good, but I'll do my best. And, you know, from this point on, it's going to be a bunch of spoilers, because I'm going to try to tell you the entire movie, and if you're not cool with that, well, I got some vacation videos from my road trips that you can go ahead and check out on my channel, because those have Shaggy, and Shaggy doesn't have spoilers. For now. But anyway, if you are okay with that, let's get started. So when the movie starts off, we see Adrian Toombs and a group of other workers cleaning up after the Battle of New York when they hear that their cleanup and any other ones that may occur due to superhero involvement are going to be taken over by Tony Stark's Department of Damage Control. And upon hearing this, you know, they're super mad, they're gonna lose their jobs, and they decide, hey, why not keep the weapons? And skip 8 years later, we see that they are doing very well for themselves because, you know, Adrian's become the Vulture, and he goes out and steals weapons and, well, steals materials, and then they make weapons, and they have their own black market weapon dealing going on, and they're doing pretty well. And they've pretty much managed to stay off of the police and the Avengers' radar because they're so low scale and they're just taking parts from battles that no one really cares about. No one's really noticing them. And then we skip over to see Peter being recruited by Tony Stark and making this video diary that leads up to Civil War when he steals Captain America's shield. And a little bit after, where we see Tony Stark tell him that he can keep the super advanced suit that he was given, and now he is, you know, fitted to be the Spider-Man. One night when Peter is on patrol to look for any crime, he realizes that there's like this big blue explosion in the distance and decides to go and check it out, where he sees that Shocker, our original Shocker, and one of Tomb's other men are trying to do a weapons deal to Aaron Davis, who is Donald Glover's character, the Prowler. Peter interrupts the weapon deal. You know, the Prowler gets away, and the two of the Vulture's men start to escape when Peter is on their trail. He's tracking them, and eventually that leads them to call the Vulture, and he comes out of nowhere and swoops Peter out of the sky and, like, holds him over this lake where he drops him in and leaves him to drown. But luckily for Peter, this entire time his suit is being monitored by Tony Stark, and Tony sends one of his Iron Man robots to go and rescue Peter, and tells Peter to pretty much not involve himself with these men because they're very dangerous and they could kill him. But, you know, on his walk home, Peter notices a power core was dropped by the two men and picks it up and takes it to Ned to research what it is at their school. After finding out it's a power core by sending off a charge, the two, well, one of the guys and a new guy from Vulture's men decide to go and see what it is, and Peter manages to leave a tracker on one of the guys who is now the new Shocker after Toombs killed the old one, and see where their hideout is. So Peter and Ned track it all the way to Maryland, and Peter decides that he wants to go see what it is, so he decides to rejoin the school's decathlon team, who are going to be having a competition in Washington. So, completely ignoring the competition, he goes to track down Tomb's men, who has now started a heist for one of the Department of Damage Control's trucks, and he tries to go and stop that. He gets in a fight with Vulture and pretty much ends up stopping Vulture from stealing anything, but also ends up trapped in one of the Department of Damage Control's facilities very far away. So, upon freeing himself and now having his new AI to talk to Carrie tells him that the core that he gave to Ned for safekeeping and is now carrying around as if it's just a regular rock is actually radioactive and explosive. So he tries to warn Ned, but they are now done with their decathlon after Peter had missed it and just are touring DC and are going up to the Washington Monument. When Ned passes through the security scan and gets radioactivity on it, and now it's set to explode. And now, him, the rest of his decathlon team, which includes Liz Allen, the girl that he has a crush on, are on an elevator when it explodes. Luckily, Peter arrives in time to save the day, save Liz Allen, and be a superhero. But of course, you know, even though Peter is a superhero as Spider-Man, he's not a superhero as Peter. And everyone hates his guts now for missing out on the competition and not being there when they were in mortal danger. So everyone's pretty pissed at Peter and they go back home to New York City, but that doesn't discourage Peter. He is on a mission. He needs to find out where Toombs is to stop these weapons from entering his city anymore. So he tracks down the Prowler and convinces him to tell him something that might help him out to find the Vulture. When the Prowler tells him that he should go to a ferry dealing that there is going to be, Peter goes there and pretty much tries to stop the deal from going down, but ends up splitting the entire, ferry in half, and he tries to stop it himself, but it's getting out of control, and it's too much for him when Tony Stark shows up and saves the day, and reprimands him for being so reckless and nearly getting himself killed again, and then takes away his suit. Now without his suit, Peter feels a bit helpless. Well, he feels like he's been toned down a lot, and he goes back to school regularly and joins,
participates in the teams again. He's interacting with more people, and even though they're still super mad at him about the decathlon competition, they decide, you know, to interact with him more as well, and eventually that gives him better relations with Liz Allen, who he invites to the homecoming dance. And then he goes to pick up Liz from the homecoming dance and discovers that the vulture is her father, who during the ride to the homecoming dance also equally discovers that Peter is Spider-Man. But he doesn't kill him right away because he had heard that Spider-Man had saved his daughter in DC, and decides to give him a choice of pretty much forget everything happened and go show Liz a good time, or I'll kill you. To which Peter very apologetically tells Liz that he has to leave the homecoming dance because there's something very important he has to do, and goes to stop the vulture, who he is now tracking to his secret hideout, and leaves Liz there for high and dry. When he exits the back entrance of the school, pretty much the vulture was expecting this and has Shocker there waiting for him, and Shocker and Peter fight. He almost kills him when Ned saves the day and stops the Shocker from killing Peter. And that allows Peter to continue his pursuit. So Peter continues his pursuit of the vulture because he's trying to stop him from intercepting a plane carrying all of the old Avengers Tower's materials and technology into the new facility. And he's trying to warn Happy about it, that, you know, the plane's gonna get hijacked, but Happy, again, doesn't answer his calls. So he goes, he meets up with the vulture at his lair where he's going to suit up and get ready for this heist, when the vulture pretty much drops an entire building on him after telling him that he gave him a choice and leaves him there to die. And Peter's feeling pretty helpless at this point because since he had his suit taken away, he's just running around wearing his homemade suit. He's feeling really weak without his enhanced suit, and he's about to give up. But he remembers what Tony says about how if he's nothing without the suit, he doesn't deserve it, and he essentially comes to terms with that and overcomes his state of helplessness and decides to continue to pursue the vulture. And eventually he catches up with him and stops him enough to, well, he manages to crash the plane, so he doesn't completely succeed, but he does stop the vulture from stealing everything. And after he crash lands the plane in a remote island, him and the vulture have this big fight off where the vulture almost dies because he's tired of losing out on all these deals and Spider-Man interfering, and he wants to steal some arc reactors, but they're gonna explode, and, you know, they explode, but Peter manages to save him, and the vulture's fine. He leaves everything all webbed up for the police and for Happy, and he's really content that he did a good thing, and he goes back again to his daily life. With Peter going back to school, he sees Liz Allen very upset, and it's pretty much because her dad's going to jail and her mother are moving. And he feels really bad about it, but he still doesn't tell her that he is Spider-Man. So with Liz Allen gone, who was the old, you know, leader of the decathlon team, they have to appoint a new one, who is going to be Michelle, who this entire time has been Zendaya's character, but she hasn't really played a major role. She's just kind of there as a part of the decathlon team, and she always seems to be there when Peter is there. Convenient, right? Well, she accepts the new role as the decathlon leader and tells everyone to call her MJ because that is what her friends call her. So, no Mary Jane, guys. Anyway, after that, Peter gets a call from Happy, who Happy thanks him and tells him that he really appreciates what he did and he's sorry for ignoring him and doubting him. And he has told Tony Stark what he did. he takes him to Tony Stark's new tower, where Tony Stark offers him the Iron Spider suit and tells him he can become an Avenger because he's earned it and he's done so much. But Peter rejects because he says that he'd just rather stay a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man for now. And then, you know, it's actually revealed that Tony had this whole press announcement set up. It wasn't a joke, it wasn't a test. He was actually hoping Peter would say yes, and now he fuddled it all up. But, you know, Pepper Potts is back, telling him that he needs to present something, where Happy gives Tony Stark a ring and tells him, "I've been holding on to this since 2008. And it's implied that Tony Stark is going to announce his marriage to Pepper Potts. And Peter now goes home, satisfied that he's the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man again, and discovers that in his apartment, Tony Stark has left him his original suit, his new enhanced suit that he gave him. He starts to put it on when his Aunt May walks in and just goes, "What the fuck?" And that's where the movie ends. We also get 2 credit scenes. So the first one, we see the Vulture is in jail. We see that he is being approached by the guy who was supposed to do the deal with him on the ferry, who seems to be the Scorpion, who is one of Peter's other enemies. And Scorpion tells him pretty much that, you know, he knows that the Vulture knows who Peter is, who Spider-Man is, and for him to tell them his secret identity. Because him and a couple other villains just want to kill him. And the Vulture says he doesn't know and doesn't give away Peter's identity, unwilling to reveal it. We also get another credit scene where it is a Captain America recording in the style of what is presented at Peter's school for random detention videos or PE videos. And he's just telling us that he's glad that we are very patient. And then it says that Spider-Man will return, and that is the end of the film. So a lot on my mind, but just about the movie in general, I felt that it had really, really good pacing and energy and a really good tone to it, because this one really felt like a Spider-Man movie to me, because it was really fun. It was really fun. It was really energetic. It was very humorous. There were a lot of good moments where I feel Tom Holland played it perfectly. He was Spider-Man. He had the humor, even at like really serious, really dark moments where he's supposed to be afraid, but he's really just thinking about how to make a joke as he goes into battle. And that's a really important part for me of the Spider-Man character, because it's supposed to be that he tries not to stress himself out, he tries to just joke about it, and he sometimes takes jokes to the very extreme, because Peter Parker gets carried away a lot. And we did get to see that happen when he is now gaining more confidence in not taking the Vulture's threat seriously. He's just pretty much thinking of it as, well, one big joke, as, yeah, right, you know, I'm Spider-Man, I'm gonna stop you, when he gets shut down after nearly getting killed, and Tony Stark has to have, you know, a serious conversation with him and pretty much put him back in his place before Peter decides to fight with his own strength, and that's why he goes back to his old suit. We did not get Mary Jane. We got Michelle, who is Zendaya's character, and this entire time there was a lot of speculation that she was going to be Mary Jane, and, you know, they've been shooting us down, they said no, but she really isn't. She's just MJ, and I guess there's just not going to be a Mary Jane character in this universe. MJ is just going to be whoever is Peter's, you know, romantic interest. It's just supposed to signify that role of a very important person in Peter's romantic life. And honestly, I'm okay with that. Zendaya's character is a mixture of both Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane, so it looks like we're not getting Gwen Stacy either. We're just getting someone who is interested in Peter. She's really smart as well. She is part of the decathlon team, you know, very smart in the sense that Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker were the two highest students, so I think that's the aspect that we're getting of Gwen Stacy. And then we're getting Mary Jane mixed in, where we can see that she's setting up that she could become a popular girl, or she might have already been a popular girl and she was just kind of ignoring everyone else to go hang out with Peter because she likes him. But I can see that she's gaining so much attention and popularity, being, you know, the winner of the decathlon, being a leader of the decathlon team, and she's already so pretty that she could be a supermodel later. And that might be where they're going with this, but it seems like they're just combining these two characters into Zendaya, just MJ, to be Peter Parker's romantic interest. Another thing was there were a lot of references in this. The Scorpion was in this, the Prowler. The Prowler! Okay, so very important thing about the Prowler is that the Prowler, during the movie, mentions that he has a nephew living there and that he doesn't want those weapons in the city. Which is one very concerning because it's kind of confusing and very exciting as well, because his nephew is actually Miles Morales, which is Spider-Man. So he's supposed to be from another universe, and I don't know how they're going to tie him in, but it's pretty much confirmed that Miles Morales is in this universe. And maybe it's going to be that Peter Parker eventually gives up his mantle and gives it to Miles, or that Miles is already Spider-Man and maybe they're gonna have this interaction thing where Peter meets Miles, and I don't know, but it'll be really interesting to see that, because usually they're not in the same universe. They wouldn't really interact until, you know, after all the merging and stuff, but whatever. It was really exciting to see that, and the fact that it was Childish Gambino in the movie was all the more exciting because he actually auditioned for Spider-Man a while ago, and that's why the Miles Morales character was created. So the fact that he is going to be the result of Miles Morales existing, that he's the confirmation, is really satisfying for me, because I would have loved to see him as Miles Morales. I'm glad he's just in the MCU at all. More villains for Spider-Man. We got to meet Flash Thompson, and he's not a physical bully like he has been in all the other movies and the comics. He's just kind of a dick. He's kind of a rich, like, nerdy dick, because he's a part of the decathlon team as well. So he's a modern bully, because, you know, nowadays teachers aren't going to be cool with them, like, beating up kids. If you see that, you're going to stop it. But he's a verbal bully. He verbally harasses Peter, he makes fun of him, he makes him a joke, and that's what pretty much a bully is nowadays. So I'm glad that we got that modernization of the character, that he's not beating up Peter, and I don't really think he could either, because we saw Peter's ability of superhuman strength, and then the next day he's completely healed up because of his superhuman healing. So, you know, Peter Parker is buff, and Peter Parker is strong. But even if Flash doesn't know that, he's not willing to go out there and actually beat up Peter and find out. He's just kind of a jerk. So they did set that up as well. Glad he's not a physical bully. I think that's really refreshing, and it's really cool that they're making it so modern. One thing they didn't show in the movie, or at least I think they didn't show, was his Spidey sense. They didn't bring up the Spidey sense. It seemed like when he would need to know, the suit just kind of told him that there were people nearby or that there's something dangerous, but we didn't get to see, you know, him sensing danger and having that spider sense, which is fine, because he might have been using it and they just didn't mention it, or it wasn't obvious enough. So maybe they'll bring that up later, but I did notice that they didn't bring that up, and that was a bit strange because Spidey sense is so big for Spider-Man's character. It's his way of knowing what's coming next. But he's already really strong. He's presented as really strong, so I guess we don't need that immediately. Another thing I didn't really mention during my summary, but I did notice during the film, Aunt May. Aunt May's character doesn't really have too many scenes with Peter. You know, she's not like constantly hounding him. It seems like she's very understanding of Peter and his need for separation. You know, she doesn't know why. She doesn't really know he's Spider-Man, or she doesn't find out he's Spider-Man until the end. She's just really there for him. She's supportive of him, and she wants to help Peter pretty much with anything he might need. But we do see at certain points in the movie, okay, they never mention Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben is never brought up. They don't really touch on it, but we do see that at certain times, May almost goes and has a panic attack. Peter doesn't answer her phone calls. Peter doesn't show up on time. She freaks out. She starts telling Peter, you know how I feel about this kind of stuff. You know what this means to me. I need to hear from you. You need to answer my phone calls, because otherwise, I'm not okay. And that's probably because of Uncle Ben. They don't mention it, but we do see the lasting effects on it, on Aunt May, on how quickly she freaks out, on her, when Peter doesn't answer, when he doesn't talk to her immediately, her having the first assumption that he's dead. They don't say that verbally, but her reaction to it is like, I thought you were, and then it cuts off. Because she was going to say, I thought you were dead. We do see that she has that trauma. She has, post-traumatic stress. She is very worried about Peter. She wants to be there for him. She wants to give him freedom, but he also needs to answer her phone calls. And she was already really nervous about the Stark internship, but she let Peter do it because she saw that it was something Peter was interested in and that he wanted to do, and it's like, why not? It would be good for him. I'm sorry for the super long rant. I think I am done now. So thank you so much for watching this with me. I'm sure there was some more things that I caught that I didn't say, but honestly there was just so much that I couldn't process it all, and then I just can't say it all. So let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Hit me up if you agree, with anything I said, if you had a different opinion, or if you think something else is going to happen, because this was really, really cool. So thank you for watching this, guys. If you haven't gone to see this movie, go ahead and go see it, because it is super amazing, and you're going to love it. Well, I hope you'll love it. And that's pretty much all my thoughts and my summary. So thanks for watching this with me, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye! Hey everyone! Thank you for watching Lety's video. You could subscribe to her channel by clicking that circle button up there, or see some more of her videos over here. And you can find her socials or check out her Patreon by clicking that square button down there. I'm so sorry for attacking you. I didn't know you were a kung fu master.